Faery. I'm coming at you from the inside of my place because the eagle's nest because it's raining, and we're going on 3 hours sleep, wet hair, and we're going now because our totem messengers just arrived, and you guys have to see this. Um, we have the female and the male totem dove sitting above me, which is the mermaid. So the male is above me, which is interesting. It's raining outside and they've come to take shelter. But what's interesting about this is I've been hearing her and I've been seeing her. There's always been one. It's a mourning dove. And there hasn't been the two. But today, right as I was speaking about going home, I literally was saying the words going home. I'm getting, a trip that's coming, travel. And I was talking about it, and right then they showed up. I was videotaping something. No, I was talking to a friend, and I was saying, I need to go home. I keep getting from Spirit, it's time to go home. And right as I said that, they showed up. And I wasn't sure when I was looking which one it was which. Who landed above me? I am the mermaid. I'm hoping you guys can see this. I'm sorry that there's a screen in between. You can't see the colors as well, but this is the male. The male has the rosy colored chest, and this is the female. And the fact that they both came together, coming home. Home is where your heart is, okay? So that was so as then what the first message that comes to Dove, and especially since you see them both sitting here, is center yourself, take a breath. You're gonna know what to do or not to do when the time comes. So right now, you take a lesson from them and you just go with the flow. You need to relax. The solution to the problem is going to find you. You don't have to tear out your hair trying to figure it out. This message to me, loud message, because I'm like Sherlock Holmes trying to figure things out. You don't have to go around searching for it. She might be reminding you that you need to soar. It's about when to use your wings and when to sit. If you're going to sit on the branch and allow Spirit to pick you up or the wind to pick you up when it's ready to go, and then it's surrender, right? It's all about surrender right now. They're surrendering to the elements. It's kind of breezy out there. The wind is actually quite cold and it's raining, and they're kind of hunkering down right now. So that's my message, just to sit and wait. That's the message for me. For you, it doesn't necessarily mean that. Alternatively, you may be the one that's supposed to go. It might mean that you need to stop and take a few deep breaths. Let go of whatever chaos is surrounding you at this moment, because there's been a lot with me right now. I've had people hacking my page. I've had people starting new pages. I've had people stalking. I've had all kinds of strange things going on. So instead of trying to figure things out, the sun started to come out just then. Look, you can see on him the light shining on the male, which is a really positive message. The light shining, the sun coming out on the divine masculine. The wind, everything's shifting. Today is the solar eclipse. I'd be curious to know if it's happening right at this moment. But alternatively, the message is stop, take a few deep breaths. Let that turmoil go and find the peace within. But what they're saying is your reality is shifting right now in ways that you didn't think were possible. They're a bird of prophecy. So there's things that are going on right now that you didn't actually realize, and what you've been looking for is just around the corner. It's interesting because there she sits facing this direction, and that's a corner, and he's sitting there. He's coming right behind her. That's the message, because he's sitting above the mermaid. So he's just right around the corner. Whatever he represents to you, it's just right there. And if the dove is your totem, you're a very gentle, loving, giving person. You might have a passive kind of tendency, and people might have a tendency to take advantage of your sweet, gentle nature, because this comes naturally to you. You're a natural nurturer, So maybe it's talking about boundaries, which it is, because I'll show you the cards that we're getting, and that's what it's supporting. So to see a dove, they symbolize peace, tranquility, harmony, affection, innocence, loyalty, love, gentleness, friendships, a message of blessings on their way to you. These are all of the things that are coming forward with the dove messenger. I love looking at them. I wish that I could get you guys zoomed in closer. I hope that you can see this. But they're talking about soothing our minds, quieting and our worried and troubled thoughts, and finding the renewal in kind of a space of stillness, because they're both just kind of relaxing there, right? They're also a bird that speaks about cycles between times, because you hear them in the morning and you hear them in the evening, right before it gets dark. At dusk you hear them, and early morning hours is when you hear the mourning dove calling. And So it might be talking about emotions that are inside. However you perceive the sound, whatever it makes you, does it make you feel sad? There's something that you need to address. Does it calm you? There's something that it's speaking to you about. What does the dove represent to you? You got to think about. It's always what you want to do is pay attention to what the dove is doing or what the animal totem is doing. They're aware. He's looking around, right? But he is not leaving her. He's right there with the mermaid, and she is. So he's got her back. That's the message to me. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's rain coming down in front of him. That's emotion that's being expressed. The need, there's the crow that just went by, which means walk your walk, talk your talk. I'm listening to this message. I'm paying attention to this, definitely. The crow just spoke again, so that's pay attention, walk your walk, talk your talk. But the dove will show up, when there's times filled with stress or tension or major changes. Amethyst, the stone amethyst, I'll show you. I've got it sitting here. I won't lift it up. There's amethyst. This is my workspace right here. And the amethyst is also about calming. So maybe this is a message to you about, get your crystals out. And maybe I'm supposed to get my amethyst out and hold on to my amethyst, and use it and cause a sense of peace to come over me. So together with the if you call on the wisdom of the dove as well as your amethyst, together they'll bring you this peace that this will be achieved. This is when you're facing big changes and transitions in your life. Okay, so I'll probably turn it around back and forth, but I don't know how much of this, if you can even see them. Oh, it's not as big as I thought it was. I'm so sorry. I'm going to actually get you guys closer if I can. Can you see him sitting there? He's so beautiful. And her, there's spots on the window, so I don't want to scare her away. But look at her. Isn't she beautiful? I love them. And then his color is, I got these cats. My cats want outside. They're not allowed because I'm not going to have them scare away my totems. There he is. Can you see him? Look at the color of his chest. He's very alert. He's very much paying attention. And he's sitting by the water. So he's got emotion. He's got emotion around him is the message that I'm getting. There's emotion coming down around the male. Okay, so the messages that we're getting today, we're working with two different decks, and I've got a lot of cards, and they're not, they're very strong cards. Sorry, scratch my nose, it's all red now. As I said, it's the eclipse happening right now, and the eclipse energy is definitely about traumatic, I don't want to say traumatic, but it is, there's big changes happening. We had the first eclipse in February, and it was about endings, and this one is about beginnings. That's why when they show up, it's talking about love and soulmate connections and that type of and prophecy. So whatever has been prophesied to you, whatever's been shown to you, and you've been waiting for it, it's coming right around the corner, right? But with eclipse time, this time it's about the new beginnings, but it's about choices that are having to be made. People who have been walking two paths, walking two ways, there's no more of that. You need to make a choice and go in one direction or the other. This is your opportunity to come out and come out of the closet and be who you are and speak your truth. So if you've got your feet already on your path, it won't be as tumultuous for you. If you don't, it might feel a bit of a shakeup. There's definitely major changes happening right now. So the first message that we have, I think I'm gonna do it like this. I have two different decks that I'm working with, and the first one is the Oracle of the Shapeshifters, and the deck, the message is, I'm gonna figure this out. Voodoo in blue. So you see this little girl, and she's saying, back off. She is not a happy camper. She's letting you know that it's time to back off from a certain person or a situation in your life that is not in your best interest. It might be difficult for you to be strong and do this, but you have to be brave. The number 22, everything is happening as it's meant to. So even if you feel like, oh, I don't know, it's happening because it's meant to happen at this time. You need to not be welcoming of what you actually don't want, and you've not been paying attention. You've not been paying attention to your own higher self. You've already been getting messages about this, and you've been ignoring it or making excuses for it, and they're basically saying no more. So she's there to tell you. I'm here to tell you that right now you're being too kind, and I realize you want to help people, so I'm going to step in and I'm going to give them a very clear warning. Back off. She doesn't mind being the bad guy. You can say it kindly, You need someone to back off and give you some space. You're not liking them. You're not welcoming them. You need to be very clear and straight. Despite the fact that you're trying to be a nice person, you can't, because this person isn't getting it. You might have said that. You might have tried to create space. Maybe you just need some personal time, whatever, or whatever it is. But they're overriding your boundaries, and you need to stop being so welcoming, and don't be so gentle. Detach from whatever it is. It could be a person, a place, a situation. Detach from the situation. It's irritating you. It's draining you. It's pushing your buttons, and tell them to leave you alone for a while. You know, and at first you can be respectful, but if they don't respect what you're asking for them, then you need to get a little bit, more straight and say straight up, you know what, we're done with this. I'm sorry, done. Okay, so that's the first message. The second message is Kali. Now, Kali is the goddess of endings, and that's why we're talking about, seems to be a lot of really strong messages in this reading. It makes perfect sense, being that I'm doing this reading right as the eclipse is happening, I do believe. The energy has just been this way for so many people right now. So, Kali, from death comes rebirth. Okay, 1, keep your thoughts positive. 3, what comes around goes around, full circle completion. Now, Kali is, from death comes rebirth. She represents like a destructive phase, but it's a natural cycle, right? Everything is cycles. And her energy is very, very strong. She's the one who comes in and severs energy cords. She's the one who cuts the cords. I mean, I called this person in. I called this energy in. Cut the cords, cut the cords. I don't want this anymore. And so Kali comes forward when we ask for cords to be cut. You know, whatever's going on, whoever's leeching off your energy, draining your strength, relationships that are keeping you stuck, whether you realize it or not, you've called her in. So she's here to do this job. She's here to now do what maybe you haven't been able to do. She's here to sever the cords. And working with her is very, very powerful. Oh, look at her wings. Look at her wings. Oh, can you see? It's so beautiful. Oh, she's fanning her wings in the wind. It's just incredible. She's thinking about flying. They both are. They both were fanning. He's fanning his wings too. Oh, I wish you guys could see up close how incredible they are. Oh, I'm just bummed that I've got these screens in the way. Anyway, Kali, you're working with this energy. Oh, she's walking over to him. And I think they might be getting ready to go off together. That's a message too. Yeah, they're getting ready to go. So they've chilled out for a little bit, right? They took a breather, they calmed down, and I think they're getting ready to take off. Together. So that was the message. They needed some quiet time. They needed some space from each other, not from everything. They just needed some quiet time. So maybe they're telling you, I know I'm jumping out of this message that we just got, but there's a reason, because they just demonstrated something. Because remember, we're supposed to pay attention to what they're doing, the messengers, when they come. So they came when it was raining. They took a breath. They calmed down. They sat it out. She had her back to him, right? But he was at her back, so he was watching her. He had her back, but she had her back to him, so she was taking a breath. He was standing over top of the mermaid, which represents me, so I feel like, the male he's right there. He was right around the corner from her. Even if she wasn't looking at him, he's right there. But they did take a little bit of a pause. They let things settle. The sun started to come out here again. They ruffled up their wings and they got ready. And remember, we were supposed to wait until the wind comes. That's what the message with Dove was saying. You need to wait until the wind comes and then go with the flow, right? When things aren't there, when the energy isn't moving forward, you wait. When you don't know what to do, you wait. And then when the energy shifts, you take off and you start moving forward. So that's what they just did. And they went together, which is a really good message too, since they came together as a couple. I like that. Sorry, cat hair. That's what happens when you're a cat lady. Okay, so Kali, we're back to Kali. So we called her in. And at this, you got to stay still with this energy and allow her to do her work, right? Her energy's fierce, and it's a test of your faith. Because there's going to be endings. And sometimes they're not endings that we expected. Sometimes we wanted certain things to end, but we didn't really realize everything else that was going to go with it. So it's a test. Are you going to be able to do what needs to be done? Or, I don't want this situation, but Spirit's saying, you need to do something about it. You need to speak up. You need to put an end to it. You need to be the one that makes the choice. Is this something, you have to do this? Spirit's going to line things up. Callie's coming in and bringing things to a head because there's something that's definitely ending, but there's something required of you. And at this time, it's purification, it's change, it's in your highest good. So can you walk towards it? Can you do it? Pay attention to the lessons that you get from this, from what you've learned from this association, but this association is over. Know that after a death, there is a rebirth, okay? There's always, what is it? Nature, is it nature? The universe hates a void. If there's a void, they'll fill it. So don't worry. Whatever you have left or whatever has been lost to you will be returned to you repaired or in a better form. But you must let go of what is no longer working and what you have literally, honestly, in your heart, knowing that you've needed to let go of. Okay? So that's that energy. The next message that's coming forward is the grumpy red fairy. Now, you know what? I think I'm going to do it in a different order. I'm going to do this one first, and then, they all go together, but I feel like I'm going to do this way. Sea storm. So you see this beautiful mermaid, and look at the lightning cracking all around her. This is kind of the energy, it's definitely the energy that's going on right now with us right now, where I live anyway. We've got this kind of inclement weather, but definitely with the eclipse. But you see her very calm. The waves are all turned up, right? But she's very relaxed. She doesn't have her arms flailing about. She's just doing what the doves were doing. She was just taking a chill pill while all this other stuff's going on. 3, coming full circle completion. 2, everything happening as it's meant to happen. So even though the sea is stormy all around her, you don't see land anywhere. She's floating at this point. She's listening to her intuition, and she's knowing how she's going to make it home. I keep thinking that song. What is that song? Oh wow! Now I'm not going to get it. Basically, it says, "No matter, follow the light, and the light will always guide you home." I can't think of it right now. Maybe it'll come up. But that's what she's doing. She knows that she's going to find her way home. All this upheaval is going out and around her, and right now she doesn't have a home, and maybe you don't either. But you're going to. So at this moment, they're saying you're surrounded by storms. Chaos, emotional drama. Things that are happening in your life right now are changing in front of you. Like you don't even know you don't know what's coming. Everything's changing in ways that you don't even understand or that you don't recognize. And there's destruction of the old behind you, because that's what has happened when Callie is swept through. Things are falling apart, and the thing when it's like the falling tower. And when things fall apart, we need to allow them to fall apart. They're falling apart for a reason. The numbers we're getting are everything is happening for a reason. Let it fall away. When a door closes, don't bang on it. Let it shut and stay shut. Another door is going to open. So they want you to turn inwards, listen to your higher self, listen to what Spirit's saying, pay attention to the animals that are coming, listen to what messages that we just got when they showed up. Even for me, things aren't necessarily going to go the way you plan them to go. It's difficult for someone like me. I'm an Aries, and I like to have control over my life. And the thing is, if we think that we're in control of everything, we've got another thing coming. We're not. There are so many outside forces, and there's so many other things, and we have so many different layers of ourselves, right? We are ourselves in so many other dimensions. This is my 3D physical body. I operate mostly in 4th and 5th dimension, but there's higher dimensions, and there's other things going on, and I don't see what's around the corner. You recognize when she was sitting there, the dove was sitting on the railing. She was sitting there, and he was behind her around the corner, and she knew because they flew up together. But just for intents and purposes, if I were to take a picture, it's like she didn't know he's just behind me. He's just right around the corner, and that was her message from Dove. One of the messages they gave was, "What you've been waiting for is literally just around the corner." So you're in this place where you have to let things go, and it may feel chaotic. It definitely probably feels chaotic, and you don't know what's coming around the corner. You're not sure where your home is, where your heart is, right? I don't know what's going on right now, so I'm just going to sit here and I made that decision this morning. I said, I'm not going to try anymore to figure this out. Whoever it is, I'm going to allow themselves to show themselves. I'm going to allow Spirit to guide this, and I'm just going to do what I'm told to do. You're supposed to stay on your path. I'm supposed to stay on my path. As long as I stay on my path, everything's going to be okay. No matter what it feels like, no matter what the chaos is around you. Great upheaval, great change. Tune into your higher self and your voice. Allow it to guide you home to whatever that home is for you. The journey, they're saying, is still going to continue for a while, but you need to have trust. They're saying trust. Follow the inner compass that you have, follow the signs that are coming from Spirit. They want you to be adaptable. They want you to be flexible, because you can't know until you maybe take a step forward in that direction. They're talking. It's interesting to me because when I started to film this and when I decided I'm supposed to do this reading, I was listening to my brother Ryan. Him and Alexander in Sedona, they do a morning coffee video, and they were talking about ley lines, and we've all been talking about, and I've been mentioning, and I've also been getting in all of my readings, travel. There's travel coming, and then they talk about going home, and he's saying that again, there's a trip upcoming, and you need to plan a trip to a spiritual place. Where is that for you? And he says one of the things, and what he was saying was one of the things that you could do is, where's your family from? If you don't know, do a genealogy, test. If your parents don't know where it is, figure it out. Where most of the family came from. My family comes from Wales. I have a small aspect that is in Norway, but most of it is Wales. And so I thought, he says, look up where the ley lines are. That's the spiritual Mecca. And he laughed. He says, you'll find the biggest church there, right? Because they know. And that's where your pilgrimage is supposed to, your pilgrimage home. So I thought, that's interesting. Okay, so I looked up where the ley lines were in Wales, and I've been to Wales, and the ley lines were exactly where we went, and that was interesting. That my mom, intuitively, it's interesting. Actually, now that I think about it, my mother was very metaphysical as well, and when she was young, and then she went back to it before she died, and then that's when I kind of reawakened, and kind of took up my spiritual work, and she took us home, and it was Swansea. Wales, and where I was drawn was Cardiff, and we went to the Cardiff Castle, and I was fascinated with the Cardiff Castle, and that's where the two ley lines are. That's where the major places are for the ley lines in Wales. And so I was just saying that to my girlfriend Erica, and I said, I think I'm supposed to go home. I don't have a passport. I know I need to get a passport, but I said, I think I'm supposed to go home. And when I said home, both doves flew up to my railing, and then I thought, wait a minute, I'm going home. That's what they're telling me. Home is where my heart is. Wherever your heart is, that's where home is. And when the male and female showed up together, it was a prophecy. It's showing me what's coming, what it's already been shown that's coming, and my home is coming to me. He's just right around the corner, and whatever it is to you, where is your home to you? It's just right around the corner. So. I don't even know where I was and why I went with that. Something came up, why we filmed that. I'll look back at this and I'll grab my thought. Right now, it just flew out the window. So I'm just going to go on back and to the next one. I think it was. I know why. Because with this sea storm, with this Faery, when all of this stuff is going on, they're saying that thoughts of Atlantis or Lemuria or places like that may come to mind, may start coming up. As far as connection. And that's interesting because I kept saying the male standing above the mermaid, and I am the mermaid. I have a giant mermaid tattoo on my stomach. My car is called the Mermaid. It's funny, I always go to the mountain. I love the forest, but there's such a huge aspect of me that's connected to the sea, to Atlantis and Lemuria. So it's very poignant for me. So if you start thinking about that, it might be memories, past life memories that are resurfacing at this time. So that's why that came up. Thank you for bringing that to me, Spirit. See, sometimes my mind just goes, and my higher self needs to kick in and help me. Okay, so the Grumpy Red Fairy. This one's interesting because we talked about somebody that's in our space, right? And we want them to stay out of our space. But this one isn't what that's about. It has a little bit to do. It does have something to do with it. But what this is about is, look at her. She's saying, be true to yourself. Okay, so maybe you have not been true to yourself. Maybe you have been trying to please others. Look at her hair. It's awesome. She's got red highlights in her hair. I love these peekaboos. I want to do my blonde peekaboos like that again. I used to have that. But she's saying, be true to yourself. So this person is being judged by others, right? They're telling her she doesn't look happy enough, or she's not acting the way she should, or looking the way she should. I've been getting this message from my family before they cut me off. I wasn't behaving as a woman my age should behave. I shouldn't be climbing mountains and trees. My lifestyle isn't conducive to what they felt was appropriate for me. And of course, I don't care, and I'm going to do and be who I am. But maybe you're being attacked. Maybe you're being looked at or spoken about. And you've had it. You're tired. You're tired of being told who you are and what you can do and how you can behave. And this grumpy Faery is there to say, be who you are. She's punky, right? She's different. She dresses different. She doesn't dress like the regular. She's unique. She's eclectic, and that's okay, right? She wants to be her. She says, I want to be me. I want to be free. I don't want everybody else's opinion. I'm not really interested in everybody's opinion. I'm not going to change. Like my father didn't want me to have the car that I wanted. You know, I said I would be good with a truck or a tracker or a Jeep or something that would be high enough that I could clear when I go off-roading. And that wasn't appropriate for a woman my age. I needed to have a lady's car. And I said, I'm not going to be changing who I am. I'm going to be this way until I'm dead. You know, my grandma was 98, and she didn't get that way by sitting in a tea club. She was out doing things. My grandma never drove a car. She walked everywhere, but she was doing stuff that a woman her age shouldn't have been doing. And she lived for that long. Her mom was 102. I plan on sticking around. You know what? I'm not one of these ones who wants to leave the planet. I hear a lot of the light workers and the spiritual people saying, take me home, take me off this planet, just get me out of here, you know, get me home. I don't want to be in a city. I definitely want to be, you know, in an atmosphere like this, you know, a lake atmosphere, forget the houses, or a forest atmosphere, definitely. But I love this planet. I was talking to my girlfriend Kirsten, and we were both saying, we love this planet. We love the animals. We love nature. I'm not, you know, rushing to get off this planet to enjoy some other galaxy. I like it here. So I'm going to stay here as long as I can. I guess because I'm one of the teachers that's supposed to be here. There's a lot that have checked out, and the reason they've checked out was because their energy didn't align with what's going on and the changes in the world, and maybe they're supposed to be in a different place, but I'm not. I'm supposed to be here. So at this time, I'm going to do what I want to do. So they're saying to you, if you want to have tattoos, people look at me and they're like, what? You have a tattoo? I have 2 tattoos, but I have a big one on my stomach, and I love it. And, you know, I don't care if you don't like it. It's just who I am. If you want piercings, if you want to tattoo yourself, if you want to color your hair, if you want to go bang a drum in the desert, whatever it is, be rebellious. You know, it's what other people consider rebellious. It's not rebellious. It's you being allowed to express yourself as you are. You know, it's not about playing by the rules to satisfy somebody else or some other standards. So it's time to be who you are. It's time to be yourself. Experiment. You know. Like I said, play the drums, learn an instrument, change your hair color, change your style, do something different, quit your job, do something that you've always wanted to do. Be authentic is the truth. Stop faking it for other people. Be who you truly are. Be who you are for yourself as you are. Try different things. And then when you get smiles from people, they'll be genuine smiles. When you have acknowledgement or comments from other people, and when you draw people to you, it'll be the kind of people that you are, because you're behaving as yourself. You're not gonna. We talked about this last week about people who try and follow after other people or try and fit themselves into a mold of other people to please other people, and that's not going to work, because you're going to draw people to you like them. You're not going to draw people to you like you, so you're not going to fit. The only way that you're going to fit is if you are yourself, if you act as you are and you behave as you are, and then the people that are drawn to you are going to be like-minded people. So if you want to have like-minded people in your life, look for people who like the same things as you are and join groups like that, or find people that are interested in what you like as yourself. Not what you're told that you're supposed to like, but what you do like, okay? The next message, we're going to have one more. I wasn't going to, but I guess I will. Look at this little one. She's like looking very forlorn. Look at her little sad face. She kind of reminds me of my girlfriend Catherine's little girl, Mia. She's got these big blue eyes and this very, very blonde hair, and she's quite pale and thin. And so this little girl is sitting here, and she's got this little sad face. And what the message is, ghost of the pumpkin patch. So what she's telling you, number 1, keep your thoughts positive, okay? So she's telling you to focus on your blessings. Focus on what's around you. There's a blessing in your life that's being overlooked. You know, it appears like it's cloaked, like you can't see it. It's almost invisible. So you've got to look around you. See where you are. See what's been given to you. Maybe you're not at where you want to be at this moment, but look around you and see what you have that you can be grateful for. The more you can be grateful, the more it comes to you. I mean, I sit up in this tower, and I'm in an amazing place. My suite, I love my studio. It's beautiful. And I've got an incredible view. I don't leave here very often. I don't have to, because look what I have. I can open the window now because Mr. and Mrs. Dove have flown off. I wanted you to see this. I'm bummed that I couldn't have this open before. This is on the outside of the window. But look at that. I mean, who wouldn't be grateful for that, right? So look around. What is it? I have hummingbirds that come up, fly up here. I have them sitting on the railing. I mean, it's just incredible, the things that I have in front of me. I don't even have to leave my home. So look around you and see what you have. And appreciate what you have. You know, she's telling you that also that there's something that there may be debts that are owed to you, that you have coming to you. You have more in front of you than meets the eye. So one thing, you may be overlooking what's in front of you, but there might be something else that's in front of you that you're not understanding or you're not realizing. If anybody owes you any money, it's time to collect. It's not all about money in our lives, but when you do the work and you do the service, you should be collecting that money. It's an energetic issue, right? If there's any outstanding bills or that people owe you, collect on them, ask for them, and then you share what you have in the way that you can. It helps you. It helps me when I'm paid for what I'm for my work and my services. I'm able to help more because my bills are reduced and I don't have to stress, and then I'm able to give more generously. So that's what it is. So. And you're entitled to what's yours. Don't allow people to keep what's yours, what you have worked for. You know, we come into this world with nothing and we leave with nothing. But while you're here, it's energy. And what you have worked for and you have earned, it's yours and it's worth protecting. Whether this is monetary, whether this is emotionally, whether this is whatever you've invested in. Could be relationship too. What you've put into and what do you need to protect? What have you been working with? It's worth protecting. It's yours. But the message is definitely about material wealth, and they're saying that you have more than you realize, more than you realize you have. So take stock of what's out there. Okay, the next message I think is really interesting. We're going to skip and we're going to go to a different deck. Now this deck is The Fairy Forest by Lucy Cavendish, and this girl Isa. It's funny. I was as I said, I was listening to my friend Ryan's morning message. And his girlfriend Isa was one of the people that left a comment that I thought was so funny. And here it is. The name of this message is Isa. Now she comes along like the dove, and she talks about stillness, pausing. And look at how delicate she is. Look how beautiful the icicles dropping from her. Now think about the icicles. Okay, snow and ice is frozen emotion, right? So that means that represents the stillness again. It's not rushing, right? So she's telling you that winter has descended. So this is a time you've stopped fighting to change whatever is going on outside of you or even inside of you. You've given up. You've surrendered. You've surrendered. I've come to this place, and it's a really good place. I was talking to my girlfriend Erica this morning, and I said, this is such a good place to be. You know, where I got to the place where I thought, I'm not working at this. What's mine will come to me. I know what I'm supposed to work at, and that is my path. And if I do what I'm supposed to do and work with my path, what is mine's going to come easily to me. I don't have to fight for it. I surrender. And whatever I don't understand, like the doves we saw sitting on the railing, I surrender to spirit and I allow them to carry. When the current comes forward, I allow them to bring it. So by surrendering, you have won a war. You have conquered an aspect of yourself, and you're beginning to understand how to move in the flow with spirit, how to be present. I kept getting for the last several days, be here now. Be here now. Don't go too far back. Don't go too far ahead. Be here now. It's a moment of complete stillness and of allowing spirit to carry. You're in a situation where you don't have any control. Okay? That's another thing. That's where I'm at in a certain area of my life. I don't have control over it. And so if I don't have control over it, what's the point in struggling? So at this point, you don't have control. The power that you have is in how you react to the situation. And what you're supposed to do in this situation right now is rest. Just rest, regain your strength, take a pause, stay in a place of dignity, right? You'll produce the conditions for things to move ahead. Because a lot of times, like with the doves, they sat on the railing. And they sat there for a little while as we spoke. And at first, they kind of hunkered down when the wind was kind of whooshing by and the rain was kind of falling down by Mr. Dove, which is the emotion that was pouring down upon him. During that time, he needed to go in. He needed to kind of like center himself. He needed to pull himself away and just kind of think while that was happening. And so she had her back to him. She wasn't like running away from him. She just kind of left him and let him have his private space, which is a message for me and for you and whatever Mr. Dove represents to you. allow that person the dignity of their private space while they work through whatever they're needing to work through, because clearly there's heavy emotion calming down upon someone in your life. And they both sat there, and what is interesting to me, it's like they both were in their, like say you're in the same home together, or even energetically connected with someone. You're not separated, because we're always connected, especially to the ones that we love and care about in our family. But if somebody's going through an emotional turmoil and you are still connected, you can hold them in a space of love, and be like a port in the storm. Let them feel your support. Right? And she as well was sitting on that railing too. It's not like she's not affected by what he's going through, right? So he was at her back. He had her back. So they were in each other's space, but they weren't communicating. They were just sitting there, allowing one another to assimilate everything and let everything kind of like flow through. The rain stopped. The water stopped pouring down by Mr. Dove, and they both started to kind of flex their wings, right? They started to look around to see if there was an updraft coming. Was it time to take off yet? You know, are we almost out of the woods yet? I keep hearing that song. It's a Taylor Swift song. Are we almost out of the woods yet? And they are, right? That's where you're at. So when this time comes for liftoff, Spirit will let you know, and then they went off together, and they went forward. So this time that you're in right now, this period of like kind of chrysalis. I don't know. I know I'm not saying that right. I like that word though. Chrysalis. Oh, I guess it's either chrysalis or chrysalis, depending on where you live. I'm from Canada, so we say it differently. This don't do nothing period. It's a time to recharge. It's a time to take care of your body. It's a time to get rest. It's a time to get stillness and peace. Like we said, with all that chaos that was going on, you know, maybe you've come through that time. Maybe that time has just happened and you're just coming out of it. So you need this time to regain your dignity and take a calming breath and allow things to relax. And then the choices that are going to come are going to be they're going to be more clear for you, because when everything is kind of up in the air and everything's all, you know, chaotic and your brain's swirling in a million different directions, you're not going to get your answers anyway, because you're not going to be able to hear your higher self. You're not going to be able to see the messages that Spirit brings. And when Spirit says it's time to go, you know, you go. Like I was literally talking with my girlfriend Erica online, and I thought, you know, oh, it's getting dark. I'm gonna go have a nap, because I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning. And before that, I was up several times, you know, writing down dreams. And I thought, oh, I'm going to go to sleep. And then that happened with the doves. And I thought, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're going now. Spirit says now. Now's the time to do this reading. This is it. You got to get it up right now, because they need to see this. And we needed to watch the progression of what was happening. If I had just told you the story later, I wouldn't have been able to recognize, as we went all along in the reading, the time that they had for space, where she sat, where he sat, how they ruffled their feathers, how you know, he was kind of stretching his neck up, looking at the water that was pouring down. So that was the heavy emotion. She turned her head back and looked a couple times and checked on him. He was still there. Fine, everything's good. He'll let me know when he's ready. And what was interesting to me, and I don't know if I pointed this out to you or not, or if you were able to see it, because I know they were much smaller to you than they are to me because of this phone. But she reached her neck out first. So she caught wind that it was time to move. So do be open to the other in your life alerting you. Don't be in your ego thinking, you know, the man's got to be in charge. Work as a team, or even that the woman's got to be in charge. I like the whole wolf pack theory. I'm definitely in the wolf pack, because they take turns taking the lead. And she definitely lifted her head first. She lifted and she sniffed around, and she felt that the updraft was coming, and she turned and looked at him. They both ruffled the feathers, and then soon afterwards he stood tall, and then they went off together. But she alerted him. So do be open to getting alerts from another. You know, we don't all have the answers alone. We work together as a team, and that doesn't necessarily mean just a couple. It could be, you know, pay attention to Spirit when they come along and they give you, okay, now's the time to move. Or pay attention to maybe another member of your soul family that's got messages. Whoa, that was interesting. So that was a highlight. That's interesting, the light. So that's a highlight. Pay attention when you get messages from your spiritual family. I've been getting them all morning, and it's just like bang, bang, bang. I'm just like, wow, the messages you guys are giving me, So pay attention to what your other spiritual family is giving you. It may come through just casual conversation, like my Uncle Phil. He sends me little videos, and the turkey gang is out, and and we're looking at them, and they look like the peacock, and the peacock most resembles the phoenix rising, and it goes on and on. The way that I get messages, it comes in so many different ways. So the way that you get messages, whatever that is, just pay attention to when it comes. The next message that we have is going to be, which goes along with what happened with Isa, and she was talking about stillness and pausing, right? And I said that maybe this is a time for rest. Well, what's come next is Salu, and the number is 27. Now, again, 2 represents everything's happening as it's meant to, and 7 is you're on the right path. Now, 2 says everything is happening. You know what? 2, that's 222. I'm going to give you exactly what 2 means and exactly what 7 means. I use my Angel Numbers book. I love this book. So 2, everything's fine, and it will continue to be so if you keep believing, especially since your feelings of hope lead to more positive outcomes. So we have a lot to do with what happens. When I do readings for people, I say to them, this is the energy that's in front of you. This is what Spirit is presenting in front of you. The ability for this to happen is there, but you must do this. We are co-creators with the divine. Things don't just happen for us. You can just sit back and allow the winds to, move your canoe willy-nilly wherever, or your sailboat or your kite or whatever. And sometimes it's going to lead you in the good direction, and sometimes it's going to smash you into a wall. So if you would like to direct your life and be part of this, then you're needing to co-create with Spirit. So you listen to the signs and the cues that you get, and you pay attention, and then you work with it. So they're saying keep your thoughts positive, 1. Feelings of hope lead to more positive outcomes, and Spirit can ask you to buoy your faith, or can help you buoy your faith. If you're feeling down in the dumps, if you're feeling like, kind of flat, they can help you. So ask Spirit for help. Ask Spirit. I was listening, like I said, to my friend Ryan, and we get tips from one another. That's what you're supposed to do. We each have our own teaching styles, and Spirit each gives us different messages to listen to. But one of the things that they were saying, and I know that as an empath, I pick up other people's energy, right? So I have to be very careful. I'm also a very powerful manifester. And so if I go into a room and I'm in a really funky mood, I'm in a bad mood, if I go into a small room or like a coffee shop or whatever, I can alter the energy in that room in a negative way. So I need to be careful. I need to be responsible with my energy. Also, I can take that same energy, positive energy, and I can go into that space and lift and elevate that. Okay, so this is why this period of stillness and pausing is so important, so that we can reboot and recharge ourselves and get ourselves in a place of a good vibrational frequency, so that whoever we go, whoever we are in touch with, or wherever we go, whether we know these people or not, we will affect their energy. So we want to affect it in a positive way. And so if you're going into a place that's going to be like a dense area of like a lot of different energies that are in there, and you know that you're going to be going into it. Like, say, Ryan was talking this morning about going into a bar. I don't go to bars because I don't drink, and I mean, once in a blue moon I'll go, I suppose. But what if you got invited to meet friends and you have to go? You don't have to drink. You can have ginger ale, as they were saying, or whatever. I don't really care what anybody thinks. I just drink water. But when you go into it, and the reason I use a bar is because there's a lot of chaotic and frenetic energy in a bar, and it's pretty negative, because spirits bring in spirits. They allow darker energy in. So if you're going to be in an atmosphere like that, before you go in, prepare yourself and ask your team to spin your white light around you. Spin it around you so that as you go in, it pushes away the energy, the negative energy, and it keeps a protective field around you so that you can kind of enter this space without it affecting you. And you don't need to make yourself small. You don't need to make yourself unseen. You spin the energy away from you. You're not inflicting yourself upon anyone. You're not pushing anybody. You're just kind of like moving space aside so that you can enter, and that your aura around you is safe, open, and clear, the energy. Ask Spirit to clear your aura, and if there are any holes, or there are any that need to be sealed that maybe you're not aware of, stitch them up. I watched this morning, I posted it on my page. There was a cat, and it was sitting there watching its owner, and it says, when your favorite toy is undergoing surgery. And the person was sitting there stitching up the cat's toy. It was a mouse, and the cat was very concerned. It was watching. There's a message in that for me. I know what it is. But what it was doing was, Spirit was taking care of something. So you have asked possibly for someone in your life. I'm looking at another totem. I'm trying to see who it is flying towards me. I think it's a crow. It's awfully big. You've asked for, and I had asked for help. And so the cat was sitting back. It wasn't doing anything. It wasn't my job to do anything. So that was another message, right? Remember how Mr. Dove was sitting with the rain pouring down, the heavy emotion was coming down upon him. It wasn't her job to interfere in that. She was just supposed to be a silent support. Let him know energetically, I'm here for you, while Spirit stitches it up. Spirit's going to take care of things. They're solving things. That's the message. And the cat sat there nervous, not nervous, but concerned. I have concern, but I know when I call upon Spirit, they will help and they will take care of this, of whatever the situation is. So just the same with us. If there's any holes in our auric field or that is allowing negative energy in, negative thoughts, or sometimes we wonder why people from the past keep coming in. We don't want them there. Why are they there? There may be a hole in your auric field that needs to be stitched up. So if you know that there's an energy that isn't good and it just keeps coming, they keep entering your dreams, or you keep getting reminders of it and you're not understanding why, because you know that this is not something that's good for you, ask Spirit to scan. And if you can feel it yourself, it would be great. But if you can't, ask for Spirit to scan you. And are there any holes in my protection, in my auric field, in my shielding that I have? You don't want to have to worry so much about major shielding, because that keeps a lot out. But you do want to be protected. And if there are any things that need to be sealed up, I can feel it. And I'll get messages from Spirit. But that was a message to me. The one that you love is being stitched up. Spirit's taking care of it. Yes, we realize that you're concerned, but you just need to stay there. And the cat did. The cat stayed there and was watching, was definitely aware, but had trust. The cat was trusting its owner to take care of its toy, right? Its favorite little mouse. And so it's us, trust in Spirit to take care of this. God, there's so many messages that are just flying at me right now. Okay, so I'm going to go to the last part, Salu. So it talks about, I was supposed to talk about the number 7. So we know what 2 means. Number 7 means you're on the right path. And what's so cool about it is the outcome will exceed your expectations. The number 7 is a sign that divine magic is supporting you and opening doors of opportunity. So we knew that there was a stasis. There was a time of slowing down, but we knew that right around the corner, what you were asking for is coming to you. So doors of opportunity are being opened to you, and you're going to be able to walk through them. You just came through Cali. You just came through this. You just came through. Look at what we've got in front of us. Energy that wasn't good. Didn't want that energy. Needed it to go away. This was interfering. This was in our way. This was causing a blockage. This came to end it. It's done. That's gone. Respect it. No matter how difficult it is, respect it and allow that to go. These people need to know. Respect me who I am. This is who I am. This is what I want. You've had all of this chaotic energy around, right? You've been remaining calm, and you know Spirit's going to guide you home. And now they're telling you the doors are going to open up for you. Okay, so let's speak about Isa. Remember, we were talking about it might be a time for resting and taking care of yourself. Well, this is talking about an energetic field that's around you. See how, now look at the difference between this one and this one. This one, everything's frozen, right? This is stillness, rest, calm, meditation, going in, remaining neutral, quiet, no motion. This one has burst to life. So this is coming, and look at the numbers, 1, 7, 2, 7. One stage, the next stage. And it's just around the corner, right? So this is what's just about here. We're coming out of this, going into this. And we see the butterfly, transformation. We see the dragonflies, follow your dreams, see past the illusions. We see her, everything's in color, right? All of the colors are around her. There's a lot of, this one, there's no color. This one, there's bright color. Her lips, her skin is beautiful. The blue sky, everything is bright around us. The energy is radiant all around her, right? So this signifies a time for you to take care of your body. Take care of your body, connect with it, respect it. Maybe it's time to reshape it. Look at the shape of her arms. Love her arms. She's in good shape. She takes care of herself. So do you need to go on? I've already begun. I've been very good. And it's like time, right? Spring here, coming in California. It's, sit-ups every night before I go to bed. It's walking. It's watching what you eat. Pay attention to the things that are coming in. Pay attention to your thoughts, because that's food for your soul. Pay attention to the people that you're associating with, because that's food also. Pay attention to what you take in as far as other people speaking around you. movies, songs that you're listening to. Don't be listening to negative. Don't be watching negative. Why would you entertain yourself with anything negative? It brings on negative energy. It's all about paying attention to whatever it is that will develop and strengthen your well-being, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, in every way. But this specific message, since it talks about vitality and health and energy, this is a time that you really need to pay attention. And I told you, I'm super tired, so maybe that's why Spirit is saying, another reason why they had the doves show up and it was time to move, because they wanted me to maybe have a nap earlier, because lately I've been allowing myself to have a nap after work, but it's so late that I end up going to bed so early, and then I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm up for hours and I'm not getting proper sleep. So it's like you got to get your schedule back together, Sherry. But it's also a time to develop the proper networks between you and other people. It's a time to pay attention to the healthy relationships in your life. Remember, the grumpy red fairy is showing up because you've been allowing yourself to associate with or follow along where you're not supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a different atmosphere, with an atmosphere that supports who you are and what you like and what your path is. So they're saying this is a time to nurture. Remember last week we were talking about there's been a relationship that there's been damage and sadness that needs to be repaired. There's an apology that needs to be made. There's amends that maybe you have to make. I've done that. I thought about that really deeply. I always take my messages to heart. These aren't your messages. These are my messages first, and I share them. So I thought about that, and I thought of a situation that I had looked at things from a very different perspective, and so I did my part. But that's it. I did my part, and then I let it go because that door is shut. I did my part, and that's good. And then the relationships that are supposed to fall by the wayside, they'll go. And the relationships that are supposed to come back, and they're talking about a specific relationship, is going to come back, that it's going to be healed. So whoever it is that hasn't done that needs to do that kind of work. These healthy relationships need to be nurtured, developed, and sustained. What do you need to do to sustain a relationship? You need to invest in it, right? You need to do your work. So it's not about everybody else doing the work. It's about each one of us doing our work and acknowledging our part in it. So healthy thoughts, healthy eating. I keep, in my dreams they were talking about food, and it wasn't food. It's talking about spiritual food, and it's talking about social food, but it is also talking about what you put into your body. Like I don't eat meat, and I don't drink alcohol, and I don't take drugs, and I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't put anything in my body that would damage my body. I'm getting cleaner and cleaner. I'm not as clean as I could be. I could be completely organic, and I'm not. So I'm getting better and better. Make sure you're drinking a lot of fresh, non-alkaline water, because there's alkaline in the water, and the governmental system likes that. They put it in the water because it clogs your pineal gland, which stops you with connecting with spirit. So you want to decalcify your pineal gland. So drinking lots of fresh water, spring water that doesn't have alkaline in it. Not alkaline, what is it? Not alkaline. Fluoride, sorry. Alkaline water is actually good. And all of the work that you do, everything that you do, whatever you do, in relationship, in physical, in spiritual, anything that you put in, you get paid off in dividends, right? Everything pays off for you, and then you'll radiate. You'll radiate not only in a physical way, you'll radiate in a spiritual, emotional way. You know those people that you just look at them and they just glow. They're just shining, and they emanate this energy. Even if they're tired, they emanate like a glowing energy because they're keeping. They're aware of what their thoughts are. They're aware of what their associations are. They're aware of what they're feeding their mind, and they're aware of Spirit's connection to them, and they trust in Spirit's connection to them. So you're going to, if you nurture and develop and get yourself in a place of being around people that are like you, then you're going to be moving forward on your journey in a much more enjoyable, blessed, love-filled journey that is filled with vitality and goodwill. It's just going to go your way. When we do what we're supposed to do, when we listen to Spirit and we follow our path, things go well for us. If you do it, God knows what's in our highest good. We don't know necessarily what's in our highest good. My girlfriend this morning said, just go with the flow. It's true. Because I'm not going to make stuff happen. I can manifest and bring things to me good and bad. But as far as anybody else's free will, you don't mess with that. You know, they have their business. Like Mrs. Dove, she sat there on that railing and let Mr. Dove deal with his stuff. I'm supporting you. I love you. I'm here for you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You work through, you do your work, I'll do my work. So the more we focus on ourselves and do our work, the better everybody will be. Because it's respecting other people's space and it's respecting your space. It's also showing them that you respect your space and that you want to be respected in this manner as well. If I give you your personal space and I'm here to support you, but I don't tell you what to do, I expect that the same from you. Just because I'm in a relationship with you, a business, marriage, whatever it is, familial, we all came onto this planet with our own soul's journey. And sometimes those souls' journey, the paths end. Sometimes soul contracts end. Sometimes marriages end. Sometimes families break up. Sometimes friendships break up. A lot of that's happening right now. And everybody needs to honor everybody else's path and be on their way and allow this to happen gracefully. So that's it. That's where we're at. I think we're good. We're at an hour. This is a long reading. That's pretty cool, hey? My cats have both gone to sleep, so I guess it's nap time. This is my big boy, my 25-pound cat. And Lily, oh, she's right there too next to the heater. So that's a message to me, Mom. Nap time when we're done here. As soon as I go to upload this, I'm going to let it upload and I'll have a nap. So if you would like to follow me, I'm on LinkedIn. I haven't been posting a lot to LinkedIn and Google lately. They've been having issues with allowing me to post. It's taking a lot of my time and effort. And I decided that, you know, when I have time, I'll send things to Google and to LinkedIn. I always put my videos on LinkedIn, but everything goes to, these all go to YouTube. And I send everything on my Facebook channel, which is Angels Whisper, Sherry Columbus. And I send everything to Instagram as well. It seems to be reaching a lot more people. Spirit told me to opened it up to me to do that because it's free for people. It's easy. It's quick. It's right there. And so I'm doing that. My Instagram channel is open. It's Sherry Columbus, so you can follow that. I am not accepting any friend requests. I keep getting friend requests, but I'm not. Spirit told me to, you know, like I said, I've had issues with stalkers, and I've had issues with people getting way too personal, and it needs to stop. My private life is my private life, and if I don't know you, I haven't met you personally, I won't be discussing my private life with you. It's just not good. That was a lesson for me. So anyway, my website is www.theangelswhisper. Is it Angels Whisper? What is my website? Isn't that terrible? www.angelswhisper.com, I think. Let me look. Isn't that horrible? How come I don't know that right now? And my, that's funny. Who am I? I gotta find out who I am. I think it's because I just changed it. It was www.theangelswhisper.com, and I changed that because I bought my domain name, and it's not that anymore. So that's why you're like, why don't you even know your whole? It's Angels Whisper. Here is it. Our weekly reading. How funny! I'm looking at last week's weekly reading. www.theangelswhisper.com. I guess it is. Okay. No, I did that wrong. It shouldn't be. It should be Angels Whisper. So that led me to that because I'm supposed to change that. Shoot. Sorry. So if you guys have been going there, you've been going to the wrong one. That's not good. There's communication for me. I was shown communication's been disrupted, and I've done it myself. So I have to remember www.angelswhisper.com. And my email address is sherrycolumbus@yahoo.com. So if you weren't able to get to me, you can get to me through that. So I do dream analysis. I do long-distance Reiki healing. I'm a life coach. Personal readings. Sometimes we do video chats on Facebook. Sometimes we do just over the phone. I'll do written ones, whatever works best for you. So if I can help you in any way, I'd be honored. As I said, I work online, but I always put my private people first. So, and I will get back to you right away. So if you don't hear from me in the first day, make sure that you go to my personal email, sherrycolumbus@yahoo, and I will get back to you right away. I am always very prompt. So if you didn't hear from me in one day, there's been a breach. So I have to change this because clearly I've been sending people to the wrong to the wrong website. Really good for a business person. I'm really not a business person. See, that's my thing. I'm not. I do this for my work, but it's, I need somebody who's a business person that can take care of things like that. I've asked that from the universe, and I think that my partner that I manifest is going to be probably a business person, so he'll take care of that. Anyway, all right, thank you for joining me, and I hope that this was helpful for you, and I hope that this eclipse is not too disruptive for you. I hope that it brings you the positive new beginnings that we've been promised that are coming. Do your work to bring it to you, and it will all manifest in a much more smooth light. And do take heed of the dove, and I will as well. And just chill out and relax, Sherry. Stop being Sherlock Holmes and trying to figure it out. Okay, blessings to all of you. Love and light.